for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, looking forward to a busy Easter weekend. Just for the record, we will be here tomorrow. No talk of the town tomorrow, but there will be a Good Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Hoist the Colors also at noon tomorrow. So Good Friday, but we will be working on the holiday. And tomorrow, the coach, Kelly Johnson, KJ, will be joining us to preview the Final Four. It's kind of a new tradition that we do here. Let's see. Baseball coming up top of the hour. I'm on ESPN Plus for softball through the magic of radio, and then baseball tomorrow and Saturday. We'll preview the series with Mike Mullis, so that's coming up. Right now, let's hit the top 5 at 5.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number one, Pirate Baseball will take on American Conference rival Charlotte starting tonight, top of the hour. Dylan Johnson and Coach O. Starters have been announced for tonight's game as well as Friday's game. Luke Payne will get the ball tonight for the Pirates. This means that Ethan Norby will stay on Friday nights. He will not pitch the first game. He has been announced as tomorrow's starter. PJ, I say a good thing. He threw 108 pitches last week. The last two outings, he's really finding his groove. I like Cliff Godwin's decision here to keep him on a normal rest.
Yeah, and I think that'll be fine. We'll look forward to that tomorrow. Good to know that they are going to keep him on that Friday night schedule. The Easter deal is always a little quirky. And I think that also gives us some insight into the fact that this is going to be kind of outside of the Norby spot. It's very much up for grabs and an ever-evolving thing. And we'll see how it goes tonight. I also think from the standpoint of it gives them the idea that maybe Norby could again be extended tomorrow because you don't know what's going to happen with Payne, how long he'll be able to go. So, I mean, this would stand to reckon that tonight is a little more of a bullpen night. Charlotte's got it through their first two games a little more stabilized. The kid that transferred from South Carolina is going to be on the hill for them tomorrow. I know that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right here. But nonetheless, it is going to be a pretty intriguing matchup on the bump the next 2 days, and we'll see what happens. Saturdays, it'll be a free-for-all. The good news, and what we do know, is that it is good for the weekend. Everything looks good. We should be able to get all the games in without any weather impeding tonight, tomorrow night, and, of course, on Saturday afternoon. What do you have to tell me, Pilk?
Eddie Copper. That was the name you were looking for.
Steady Eddie. That's what they call him. Steady Eddie.
Number two.
Number two, well, the Pirates have been playing well in the pros. Last night, Gavin Williams gave the Los Angeles Dodgers their first loss on the young season. He tossed 7 complete shutout innings. He had 10 strikeouts, allowed just 3 base on balls, and the most impressive thing here, PJ, 3 walks, 2 hits, 10 Ks. He only threw 85 pitches in 7 innings, despite striking out 10. Efficient work there from Mr. Williams, and he can go on his normal rest and feel pretty good, only throwing 85 here early in the season.
That's great. The big rig was outstanding, and the efficiency in which he did it was the big thing. There was a lot of gooey britches from some of the fan base about, I guess, the Norby-Agnos matchup that happened last weekend, and it's kind of cool. The whole thing is cool, but you're going to get that obviously with the volume of guys that are now in the bigs and the volume of guys that pitch and hit. So you're going to get those matchups from time to time. Fun stuff, though. Fun stuff, I guess.
Yeah, and then did you see, though, PJ? So credit to Clayton McCullough and Norby and our guys, the Marlins. They're 5-1. That's great. They played a series, though, against the White Sox. Total attendance, 19,000 and some change for 3 games. Miami.
Yeah, nobody cares about baseball.
I know. Heck with expanding. Maybe just move the Marlins.
I moved the Marlins, and I would think at this point, move the Rays.
No baseball in the Sunshine State. Wow.
Well, they don't care anything.
I know. They don't. I mean, it's legit.
They only care about spring training.
How about those friggin' Pirates?
Whoa, what was that? Those people buy tickets to the spring training games, and that's what they do. They don't buy regular season. Now, they will when the Yankees and Sox play down there, but they only care about spring training down there. People buy spring training tickets, and they go to the games, and that's important in Florida, and it has been for years.
3.
All righty, number 3, Kirk Cousins has signed a 1-year contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, meaning he will be the mentor for supposedly Mendoza, as we expect him to be drafted number 1 overall there in next month's draft. And, PJ, I think you could start. I think this is a chance to sit Mendoza, let him learn behind a vet. Cousins looked very good, I think, down the stretch last year. He made Kyle Pitts look like he's a competent tight end, move the ball around. I still like Cousins. I think he's still got something to offer this league.
Maybe, I don't know. I think there's 2 reactions to this. One, as you say, it gives Mendoza a chance to learn from a pro's pro in Kirk Cousins. We hear nothing bad about the human being that Kirk Cousins is, and he obviously has had some very productive years. If he's willing to be a mentor, this is a great arrangement and a very smart thing to do. Cousins, you got to be happy if you're his representation, or if you're his spouse, or even if you're his accountant, because he's got plenty of money. That guy has made a living, and then some.
Oh, yeah.
Out of being a non-Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, for a guy that's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, he's had a long and prosperous career. It's pretty wild. Good for him, though. And didn't the Falcons pay him a boatload of money after they cut him?
Yeah, because they owed him dead cap. The whole contract that he was there before was like over $100 million.
It was like starter money.
Yeah,
starter money is what it was.
Yeah, and he only was on 2. He only lived out 2 years of the deal. So when they cut him, I think most of it was guaranteed. They had like $30 million, $35 million, something like that in dead cap that they had to pay him to. So he's getting paid $30 million by them, and then whatever he's going to get paid by the Raiders to. So he's going to make $40 million.
Discount, I would imagine. I imagine it'd be whatever the vet minimum is probably what he's getting.
He's probably getting a little more than that. The $2.5 million or whatever that is. Nah, he's a quarterback. Let's see.
Okay.
Not seeing anything
find the number
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say though what would you guess? 5,
I'd
6
guess
million?
5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, not bad in a state too. I don't think it's an income tax state.
It's not.
So that's good money. And he's already getting $30 million. I mean, and he may have given him a discount for the 1-year deal. I don't know. He may have to play though.
I was wrong. The Falcons contract was not $100 million. It was $180 million.
Ah.
It's ridiculous, man.
That is, well, like I said, they paid him starter money.
Yeah.
And they did not play him as such.
4.
All righty, number 4. This is just a mean April Fool's joke the Washington Wizards pulled. They had a guy, we're going to play the audio from the in-arena feed here in a second. They blindfolded a gentleman that they picked out of the stands, the way our marketing team will pick people to do the tire race or whatever. And they blindfolded him and told him if he hit a half-court shot that he won $10,000. Obviously, he can't see whether or not the ball goes in, but they tell him he won it, make him watch the replay after they've handed him the check and say, like, hey, you know what? As you see, you missed it. Give us the check back. April Fool's. So here's the sound from this.
Wow.
For $10,000. Oh
Yes, sir.
Somebody's rich! The mascots are going crazy! The contestants going crazy! The crowd is going crazy! Jackson! Oh my gosh! You didn't see it! We all saw it! You want to see it? All right, take a look at the screen for the replay. That was crazy! You go up with it right here, and you see how it just doesn't actually go in.
Bruh.
And like one of the mascots, they had a crap ton of mascots out there. Like ones that weren't even NBA mascots or from the Wizard.
Sure.
Like there was a European soccer mascot out there, and they just like ripped the check out of this poor dude's hand and then just like walk off after they told him he's won $10,000.
Well, it's an April Fool's thing, number one.
Yeah,
Number
but
two, the crowd had to be that crowd noise had to be piped in because there was not that many people at the game. I'm sure. It's my guess is like a lot of these things, the guy was probably in on it,
I hope he was.
and it's that the classic kiss cam or maybe like a fine bore staging a call kind of thing. I mean, these
Yeah.
are what a lot of this is it's theater. But let's just say that this is the case. Boy, are the Wizards just the dumbest franchise in sports with how they treat their fans, how they have guys that are sitting out that they've traded for. I mean, this is just who gives a damn about the fan franchise? It's the craziest thing. It really is.
Yeah. It started back when they had when this started, PJ? It was when they said they're going to change the name, and they had like 4 names voted on it, and the owner goes, I hope it ends up being the Wizards. And like the fans have admitted like no one voted for the Wizards.
Right.
And he clearly comes out and he's like, let's see what it is. The Wizards. And it's like, oh, what are we doing?
Because he wanted the Wizards.
It was the dopiest of the 4 names. I don't remember. One or two of the other names was actually decent. I think they should have stayed with the Bullets, but
the old name was the Bullets.
I like the Bullets. It used to be the
had this
Baltimore
great
Bullets and
logo
then the Washington
of the
Bullets.
of the 2 L's in the Bullets, a hand grabbing a basketball.
Yeah.
Classic stuff. But you know why they went away from the Bullets? Because of DC's violent situation.
Well, sounds like a DC problem, not a basketball problem.
Correct.
5.
Number 5, Stetson and Florida playing last night. It's a little softball yesterday afternoon. And PJ, you remember the scene in the Sandlot when the fireworks start going off? They're playing the night game, and all the kids turn around and stare at the sky. Yeah, the same thing happened when the space shuttle launched yesterday. Here we go.
At just the right time to get the out.
Trying to get a look at it for you, but I don't know that we have a camera. There it is. Oh, there. Everyone is really interested in this.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans have all turned around. The players are watching. The Florida coaches have come out of the dugout to take a look.
So the Florida right fielder catches the ball on a fly ball, and she sees it, and she just like points up like a little kid. It was hilarious. No pitch clock violations were given out, though, just for the record. They could have given one to the batter and the pitcher.
No, they shouldn't have given anybody anything. I saw the video of that this morning. Very, very cool. And man, what an achievement for the liftoff there. How great was that? I watched that last night. My mom actually took me to dinner, Mama J.
There you go.
And we watched it on her phone while we were waiting to sit out. So we went to a restaurant last night. Guess who was there, Pilk?
What town were you in?
It was on the mainland near Topsail Island.
You're too far away for it to be Cy Seymour, I don't think. I think
Correct.
you're too far
it was
from
a
him.
celebrity. It was my beach neighbor, Scotty McCreery.
Ah.
He was at the restaurant last night.
Were people surrounding him, or?
No, he and his wife were eating outside, and they had their kids. And I didn't see them till they were leaving, but they were outdoor. We were inside dining. They were dining al fresco. And very, very, very lovely family. But he has there was the big rumor that he'd sold his house in the Surf City area, but he had not. I actually had seen him once or twice in the old Surf City there.
I've heard he's a nice guy. I've heard that he's really a nice guy.
That's what I've heard, too.
Humble.
He's from Garner.
Yeah.
So there you go. He's from Garner. He is one of the American Idols. The other, I guess, from North Carolina that was in the country genre sort of was Clay Aiken, wasn't it? It seemed like Clay Aiken was always on the country station for some reason. when I worked in Raleigh, but obviously Scotty was because he's from there.
Yeah.
A lot of American Idols from North Carolina.
Yeah, Kelly Pickler. I don't think she won it, but she was from North Carolina.
She was on there.
From Albemarle.
Fantasia. Yeah. Daughtry.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize he was from North Carolina.
Yeah. He was like from Roanoke Rapids. All right. We're going to hit a break, and when we come back, Mike Mullis will join the program. It'll be a Mully sighting, a Mully day. Mully and I will be on TV the next 2 days. Stay tuned. Patrick Johnson Show. Leading you into Pirate Baseball, hosting Charlotte this weekend.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Listen up. He's talking now.
Sorry for reviving.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back. It is Patrick Johnson Show, Pirate Baseball, top of the hour. We'll have it for you on radio here on 94.3 The Game as Charlotte comes a-calling to East Carolina. Pirates winning against UNCW on Tuesday night. Here to talk about that, preview the series, and even maybe peek ahead to the Duke Blue Devils. Mike Mullis is the analyst for Pirate Baseball on ESPN+. Mully joins us here for the PJ Show today. All right, Mully, we've got baseball coming your way today. I might also add, this is a huge week for high school baseball tournaments, so a lot of those going on as well. Any that stand out on the local scene that folks need to know about, or any games that are coming up that might be worth checking out on the local scene?
It's an interesting thing with high school baseball in this area because our spring breaks don't line up with the most of the rest of the state because we work off of what Pitt Community College does. So there was a game last night. D.H. Conley played Cedar Ridge over at Guy Smith. Excuse me. Them game off and on over at Guy Smith. Teams in from out of town, but it doesn't necessarily have the tournament structure that it once had. This used to be a big tournament, man. You'd bring college guys in from all over the place, come watch the players. But and then the tournament at Aiden Grifton, you know what? I'm assuming that one still goes on. But PJ, I really don't know. Again, I know that there was just kind of a sprinkling of a handful of games, and last week was a little bigger week for a lot of the local teams because again they were on spring break at that time.
Well, it is always an interesting time of year to say the least, right? So it is something. All right, Mully, ECU and Charlotte coming up tonight. Both teams are 3-3 in the conference, so this is obviously an important early season 3-game series. And because of the Easter holiday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is when they're going to be playing it. So let's talk a little bit about this. Give me an idea of just your thoughts overall on the matchup, and then we'll get into some of the micro.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Always is when these two teams get together. Looking at Charlotte play, watched them a little bit last night. They're pretty offensive, probably more offensive than we have seen other Charlotte teams last year, led by the Friday night guy Gillespie, the right-hander for them on the mound, and their head guy is a pitching guy. But this club is pretty aggressive offensively. It's kind of a mixed bag of what you may see from them, and I think it's going to be extremely competitive. I think we're going to say that for most of these American series. A team still kind of jockeying for position, obviously only 3 weekends in, but Charlotte was a team at the beginning of the season that a lot of folks pointed to and said, hey, they are trouble. They will be trouble for the conference, and kind of had them picked in that top 3 range. So, I think it's, it should be a good series and going to be, a lot of it predicated on kind of how East Carolina can cobble together pitching and see which team shows up offensively. If we get the team from Tuesday night, or if we get, the team we've seen other times. So, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday baseball, then Easter egg hunt on Sunday. That's not a bad next 4 days.
Mike Mullis with us here on the Patrick Johnson show as we talk Pirate baseball. Let me ask you a little bit about the pitching matchup, at least that's been announced for the next 2 games. Chase Oxborough, we found out he was going to go. He's a left-hander. Nothing spectacular with his numbers. Pretty good control numbers, though, actually. And then Pirates are going to counter tonight with Luke Payne. So that tells me East Carolina's banking on the fact that Norby's going to come out tomorrow. They're going to keep him on the Friday to Friday deal, that Norby will come out tomorrow and that he will give them a lot of innings, or at least they're planning on going with him for several innings. So give me your read on that with Luke Payne going tonight.
I think you hit the nail on the head, P. I think it's more about Norby going tomorrow, staying on schedule. I can remember Trey Savage going on quote-unquote short rest or off schedule on a Thursday, had one of his bumpier outings. That one stands out in my mind. It is a real thing to you affect the routine. Interesting that it's Payne to me. We've, again, seen really good moments out of him, but still surprises me. It makes me almost, unfortunately, question the health of some of the other guys that you might would expect in that position. But listen, we're not with him in practice every day. I'm certainly he must have earned the confidence of the coaching staff, and he'll go out. I would kind of feel like this maybe in like the opener role that we talk so much about when you talk about a Cliff Godwin pitching staff. So you know what? That's it'll be, and more importantly, it'll be interesting to see if Norby can repeat what he did last weekend.
Hey, Mully, as far as the role that we've sort of seen Alex Boucher emerge into or find himself in. I mean, he's been at DH some this year. He's played some first base this season. I think he's maybe even played some second base. He's played somewhere on the right side of the infield at one point this year. And then obviously he's now sort of emerged as a back-end bullpen guy. You know Boo very well. So obviously I think what Alex Boucher's been able to do has been helpful, especially in light of what's going on that we know of and what may be going on with the pitching right now.
Yeah, I don't think if you'd asked him at the beginning of the year, there was some expectation, obviously, that he would pitch at some point, or at least something that they had worked on. But I don't think if you'd ask him, hey, man, do you think you'll be standing on the bump in some super high leverage situations with, the UTSA series and game on the line? And then, similarly, he's had the quote unquote and much overused high leverage situations that I don't think any of us would have expected. But, injury drives creativity, and that's what they've had to do. And Boucher's taken the ball. And yeah, you're right, man. He's played second. He's played first. He's been in the DH role. He has proven to be a valuable asset. I mean, on that tender, if you think about what Parham has done, a guy that was kind of a fringe guy. We really hadn't seen him a whole lot. And yes, some of it has not been exactly as he would like for it to go. But a guy on the outside looking in, you get an injury, you get a sickness, and the next thing you know, Parham is playing shortstop every day. So, it's the nature of sport, man. That's one thing that, it is true reality TV. You just never know what you might see. And I think Alex Boucher is a pretty good example of that. And again, I don't think he considers himself a pitcher, and that's something that a lot of position players push against. Hey, I'm a hitter, and I'm a position player, but he is certainly taking the ball, and that breaking ball for him is the medicine, and he's done a fairly admirable job.
Mully, when you look at the first two weekends, and they dropped the UAB decision. I mean, it was really kind of a tough stretch last week for ECU. So I really do believe, kind of starting with Tuesday, this is maybe the watershed week for the Pirates. This determines a lot of things, I think, for the rest of the year, potentially. You were there on Tuesday in the booth for the game. You saw how they rallied against Wilmington, but you also saw how they were up 8-1 and let the Seahawks get back in it. So, based on that game, what is the real version of ECU?
Oh, but who knows? If we go back to the 1-3 week, 2 pitches, PJ, 2 pitches landed. That changes that from a 1-3 week to a 3-1 week with a midweek win over a really good Duke team. And then had things going that way, then you also win your road series at UTSA, which would be a huge accomplishment. So it was that close. It was literally a matter of a couple pitches. And obviously there are other things that happen through a game that it doesn't come down to that finite of a point. But just as an illustration, they were that close. And you turn around Tuesday and, yeah, it was a little bumpy. I mean, it was a little bumpy, but what you saw top to bottom, in my opinion, was competitive at bats. The pitching, they just literally quilted that thing together square by square, and some a little better than others. And that's going to be the concern. I mean, that there's no mystery about this. Is can the consistency of the competitive nature of the offense remain? And will this patchwork pitching staff be able to cobble this thing together, at least until potentially a couple guys get healthy? So I don't know, PJ, and ultimately the answer to your question is, I still think it's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation, and every Pirate fan just kind of holds their breath and see which team shows up.
Do you think that? Is there some concern over Sean Jenkins at this point? Well, I mean, I don't know anything. I don't know if you do either, but what would are you hearing any rumblings on any of that?
No, not asked, just observationally. obviously the last handful of outings have not been what the first handful of outings were. And so you look at that, and I'm not suggesting an injury. I don't know if it's just he's got a little bump in the road, but whatever it is, it certainly is not the Sean Jenkins of old.
I tell you what, let's hit a break. We'll come back. Mully, we'll get you maybe to refresh your signal there. We can hear you good, but we'll do that. We'll hit a break and then come back and finish our visit with Mike Mullis and also lead you into Pirate Baseball. More after this timeout.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
And now, the stunning conclusion. Why is everyone screaming? On 94.3 The Game.
All right, we welcome you back. We're a few more minutes here before we yield to coverage of baseball this afternoon. It will be on 94.3 The Game. Mully and I will be in the TV booth Friday and Saturday for ESPN Plus coverage of East Carolina and Charlotte. Mully, D1 Baseball came out this week with their projections. Only one team out of the American end. They have it as UTSA, which would stand to reason that it looks like they would project the Roadrunners to win the conference tournament. Clearwater, which we know is always a crapshoot. It never seems like the team that is favored to win it in rare cases wins the tournament. It's kind of one of the quirks of that event over the years historically. With all of that said, is the American good enough to get more than one team in? And do you see that changing?
You know, right now, you would think there would be least a chance of that. The problem you run into is how strong these other conferences are when you look at, the possibility of the SEC getting to 8 or 9 and the ACC, I don't know what, 6, 7, something like that. And then it thins out, it thins out to so many of the automatic, the conference champs and different things around the country. So, it kind of feels like the AAC may be being passed a little bit by, for example, the Sun Belt. Historically has been pretty good, especially of late with what Coastal's done, and then Southern Miss and Troy, and they always have those three teams seem to be ranked nationally at the kind of the home stretch of the season. So I don't know. I think it still has a long ways to go. I haven't dug into kind of seeing what the AAC has done against the rest of the world, and I almost wonder how much of that is going to be taken into consideration this year based off of how bumpy midweeks have been for some of the powerhouse programs. So right now it feels like maybe a 2-bid league, maybe. But again, we still have a lot of runway in front of us and probably a few more weeks before we kind of see how all the jockeying settles out.
Mike Mullis joining us here on the program. So I think this weekend's a huge series for both teams. I mean, clearly, whoever takes the series at minimum is in a position to maybe be a second team or a one of two teams into the postseason, depending on how everything goes. But I mean, it gives you a big boost. If you're looking at the ECU side of things for Charlotte, what would concern you if you were Robert Woodard, the old Carolina pitching coach, bringing your Charlotte team in here? What concerns you about East Carolina from the Charlotte perspective?
I think from his admission, they obviously first for Norby and know that he had a heck of an outing last Friday. So that number one concern. Number two is going to be the style that East Carolina plays. That we've seen it probably more hybrid than ever as of late, and so we certainly see more of the I don't even like to use the term small ball, but the pressure baseball where CG clearly is trying to keep the defense unsettled. So that's a big part of it, and I think even in talking with Coach Woodard, coming off a weekend with USF, who can similarly drive you nuts as a defense for what they do offensively, probably puts them in a good position to come in here and deal with what the Pirate offense can bring when it's kind of humming along.
And then conversely, if you're ECU, what concerns you about Charlotte?
It's always the first thing to default regardless, and Charlotte's hitting 315, 318 as a team, but you just default to that pitching staff. They are very well coached. They're very analytically driven. Again, I like the term that Coach Woodard used the other day. It's kind of a full court, press on the mound. So they're coming right at you. They're pitching for the strikeout, and it is a very concise pitching plan. Again, almost wholly based on analytics. So it's kind of both sides of the ball, each for one for the other team. So again, I expect a really competitive series as we typically get, and a far more competitive series than what we saw last year at Charlotte.
Mike, at the end of the day, Saturday evening, we're getting ready to go to dinner. What is the thing Pirate fans look back and say, okay, this is what happened? Give me a crystal ball moment here. How does this shake out?
If the Pirates can win the series, the conversation will be how good the pitching was, even though it might have been, again, cobbled together. You may see lots of names. If the Pirates fail to win the series, I think it'll be the same story. It'll be the struggles of the pitching staff. And again, we've just seen a tremendous number of free passes that have been issued out of that staff. And I'm just not so sure you could do that with a team like Charlotte that, has got a handful of guys that can really hit, and then again a pitching staff to back them up. So I think it's got to be for East Carolina to win this series. It's got to be limiting the opportunities that we give it to UNC or to Charlotte. I'm sorry, I know they're not UNCC anymore. That's how I grew up knowing them, but to Charlotte. So I will fight that tendency all weekend, and will most likely let it slip. They will at some point be UNCC to me again.
Right.
As they should be. As they should be. I don't know why they want to change it all of a sudden. It's been UNCC for a century.
Well, there you go. Everybody has their reason. They have their sports branding. All right, Mully, good stuff. I'll see you maybe today, but definitely tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Easter weekend.
All right, there he goes. Mike Mullis with us here. Great to have him on the show with us today. All right, so we've got baseball coming your way in a few minutes. The game tomorrow, and then 12:45 will be the game. We'll be back at 5 tomorrow with a shortened edition of the show, but we'll have my dad, the coach, Kelly Johnson, on with us to preview the Final Four. Catch you on ESPN Plus right now with ECU softball against Charlotte. And then tomorrow and Saturday, ESPN Plus for ECU hosting Charlotte baseball. Catch you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. Go Pirates as they take on the Niners on both the softball and baseball diamonds.